going on, guys? I'm Recommend, and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about the Nexus 6P and basically the battery issues that a lot of people are having. I was one of them. I actually purchased my device about pretty much when it first came out. So my order was placed October 30th, 2015. The phone was working great for the first year, and I want to say around the Nougat update, somewhere right before the end of 2016 to the beginning of 2017, I did notice that the battery indicator wasn't quite getting the information correct. So basically I would be at about, say, anywhere about 10%, 5%, 10%, and the phone would just shut down. Like you'll get the orange Android light that your battery was low, was going into power saver mode, and boom, it would just shut down. It wouldn't just stay there. So basically I put up with it for a little while because by that time I was out of warranty, and I waited around hoping that it was just a software issue that Google would eventually fix, and it never got fixed. So fast forward to the beginning of the summer, actually, more like spring. But anyway, so one day I'm driving home from school. I finished my classes, I'm coming home for the day, and my car just stalled. Right by, luckily by the school for me. But what I'm calling a tow truck, the phone shut off on me at 50%, which really got on my nerves. Now the problem with the phone shutting off with the Nexus 6P in particular is that normally when it shuts off, you can't turn the phone back on unless you have a power supply nearby. So you have to usually plug it in. Sometimes it works without that trick, but most of the time it doesn't. So luckily for me, I was in my car already, and I have the charger in the car because I didn't trust the battery as it was. So I plugged it back and I was able to get it to work. But had it not worked, I would have been in a heap of trouble that day. The middle being, even though it's next to school, it's still the middle of nowhere for me because it's a good distance from where I live to where I go to school at. So long story short, I took care of the part trouble and everything. So at that point I decided to call Google directly, since I purchased this. Here's the thing, I purchased the phone directly from Google themselves. I didn't go through Huawei or any other third-party vendor. So I contacted them and I went through the troubleshooting procedures. One thing always, guys, and I'll let you know, as somebody who used to do workforce management for a call center, never be rude to whoever you call when you're calling a call center, because these are the people, even if whether they care or not, it's one thing, but try not to be rude, especially when it comes to consumer goods, because you're not going to get what you want that way. Be pleasant and polite, and escalate only as needed, and usually you'll get the best results. I've gotten tons of things fixed that way. So back to the story. So I went through the troubleshooting. I let the rep know, and we did the reboot and the restart, and shut off a couple of processes, and back and forth, and I said, you know what, I'll give it a day or two. I was annoyed, but I said I'll give it a day or two. So I finished my semester, which was a couple of weeks, and I went to Vegas. In Vegas, I'm shooting video and having a good time with my family and friends, and the phone shuts off on me again. I think it was at 15%. And don't get me wrong, there was a whole bunch of shutting off in between those couple of weeks. But it was at 15%, and I was in Vegas again, in the middle of nowhere, and it shut off on me. And then by that point, I was already smart. I was already hip to the game, so I usually carried my extra phones, either my Lumia 1520 or my iPhone 6. So I always had a backup phone just in case something happened, but you shouldn't have to do that, especially with a phone that's still essentially new. I have a Nexus 7 tablet from 2013 that the battery on that is still excellent to this day. The phone isn't even the tablet isn't even getting supported anymore, but everything still works great. The battery is excellent. So there's no reason for this Huawei phone to be dying so early. So at that point, I called Google again and I explained to them what happened, and they offered me a replacement, even though I was far out of warranty. I've been out of warranty since November of 2016. We're already in the summer of 2017. But because I purchased directly from Google, and apparently maybe the fact that there's a class action lawsuit against this Google and Huawei for the 6P, perhaps that had a little something to influence with it. But they did offer me a replacement. So I said, that's fine, I'll go ahead and take the replacement. So once it fixes my problem, I love the phone itself. The camera on it is great, the speed is nice and fast. It does everything I need. When the battery worked, it was great. Okay, so fast forward a couple of days after that. So I'm done with my vacation. I'm home about a week later, and I'm like, okay, I put in this order. Why haven't I received it? So I look it up online, and it's still showing it's basically pending. So I called Google again, and the guy was looking it up. He's like, oh, it looks like we're back ordered. So I guess a lot of people are calling Google, the Play Store, with the same issue. At least that's my guess. I'm sure there's a ton of other issues, but basically, a lot of people are having the same issue. Probably getting the word that if you go to the Play Store, you can at least get a replacement device, over the warranty, even if your warranty's over, because Google's doing that now. So I spoke to the guy. Said they didn't have any, so my choices were to either wait longer, or he said I can get a refund on the device. And I was like, what? Like, what, really? I wasn't expecting that. So I had him repeat it to me like 5 different ways to make sure I was getting the right information. So at the end, he agreed to it. He was like, well, you can take the refund and you can use it to purchase a Pixel, or Pixel XL or whatever. And I was like, great. So I went ahead and did it. So I had to pack up, he asked me the condition of my phone. My phone was immaculate. I normally when I get new phones, I tend to put them in a case and tempered glass screen protector on it day one. I'm one of those people that I have to have my device immaculate. So they got it back in immaculate condition. It was in the original box, all the original accessories, everything came back. I didn't want them to, deduct anything from it. So I waited a couple of days. I checked my bank account. There was nothing there. Then I'm like, what's going on? Then I remembered I bought it off my credit card. I checked my credit statement, and yes, they did, in fact, refund me in full, like complete, everything. I was like, wow, this is great. So right now I'm sitting on the full price of 128 gig of Nexus 6P, and I was going to just go immediately and buy a Pixel XL, the highest end one, and just pay the slight difference. But of course, everybody wants to start hitting me up on things, when I'm in the middle of a video. Let's ignore that. So where was I? So I was gonna buy the Pixel XL and pay the difference, but I know we're already, middle of summer. Google tends to put in new devices, usually October, November. I'm gonna go ahead and wait. There's no point in buying a Pixel XL or a Pixel now when the Pixel 2 is most likely right around the corner. So I'll wait it out. I'm not jumping ship, even though I can get an S8 right now, because Google did in fact take care of the problem. To my satisfaction at least, the customer service took care of it. They did refund me, so I'll go ahead and I'll invest that into a new Google phone. But I'm gonna go ahead and wait because honestly, the Pixel XL just didn't excite me. I was happy with the 6P. I felt no need to upgrade. But on top of that, the fact that it's near end of life, at least on sales wise, and it's still the same price as a brand new phone, is kind of a problem. That phone should be heavily discounted right now. There's a lot of competition out there. And they did put a couple of little promotions out there, but nothing too great that will make anybody really want to jump on that phone. I don't suggest jumping on that phone at this point. It's best to just wait for the Pixel XL. So just to recap this, if you bought a Nexus 6P from the Play Store, if you're having battery issues, call them, let them know what's going on, let them know how important your phone is to you, like as it was to me, and they may refund. They may at least offer to exchange it. If for some reason they can't get it to you, then they may call them back and then, be polite to them, and they make you the offer to at least refund you for the full price of the phone. Never hurts to try. So just giving you a heads up on that. In the meanwhile, I'm using my iPhone 6 and my Lumia 1520, and what I enjoy both of those phones quite a bit. Even together, I don't find that they compare to my Nexus 6P. The Android OS is just so much more robust in terms of usability in my case, at least for what I use. Now the other two phones have their own strengths and weaknesses. Of course they all have advantages and disadvantages over each other. But overall, I just find that Android Nougat is the best option for me right now. So I'm looking forward to getting that Pixel 2, whenever it comes out. So just want to fill you guys in. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And of course, again, I'm recommend. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.